you to know that I never meant to take it out on you. Life has its problems and I've got my share. That's one thing I never meant to do. 'Cause I love you, baby. Don't you know I'm just human? And I've got faults like any other man. And sometimes I feel myself alone, regretting some foolish thing I've done. 'Cause I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
Welcome back, Rico Money Bags, the channel helping you invest in yourself so we can invest in the future. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure the bell notification stays lit. Like that, you guys will not miss out on any future updates. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to be talking about BTC, Ethereum, Solana, all these things that we got to talk about because the markets have been absolutely crazy. Some people have shorted it. You guys seen some shorts. It bottomed out now? Is this the bear? What's going on right now? Right. So we're going to go over a lot of things. I think everything has corrected. We're going to have some fun, of course, because we're always having a good time no matter what. We're going to have to spend a lot of time in this crypto space. So we might as well have a good time doing it no matter what the conditions are. But let's go ahead and share the screen. Welcome in Psychedelic Angel. Darren, welcome into XPX fam. Let's go ahead and share the screen, talk about Bitcoin's price action, kind of talk about what's been going on as far as these prices and a lot of things that we already kind of talked about. Not that we are some kind of fortune teller or that we, saw this stuff, but, a lot of this, man, these things could be seen when we talked about that this could happen, right? And it did happen. It's crazy how, like, when you're talking about it, it sounds so crazy that it could happen and almost sounds unrealistic, but then when it happens, it's like a real reality check, right? And what's nice is you can get on either side of the trade. None of this is financial advice, of course. We're just having a lot of fun. I'm going to show you guys some of my mistakes along the way, and obviously some of the times that we actually hit on some of these, the trend is your friend kind of scenario type of things, right? But the overall crypto market cap has been getting hit left and right. It doesn't matter where you're at, what chain you're on, what your project's about. I mean, you could see it in the market, right? The overall crypto market, 2.66 trillion. We're having conversations. We're having live streams now talking about a $78,000 BTC. And what's crazy is, if somehow they ran a Black Friday sale on TVs right now for 45% off, everybody would go buy some TVs that they don't need. And, you see crypto on a crazy discount right now. I'm not saying that this is the floor. I'm not saying that you should be aping in. I do have a long position on Solana that we're up, I think, like about 50% or something like that so far. I'm not sure. Let me check actually while we're live. 64%. But, I'm not saying that that's the bottom. That could just literally just be, a nice little impulse trade upwards. And that's all that it is, right? Just a trade that exists. But we'll talk about that as well. Maybe we'll share. It's getting close to, it's 60 something percent. Even gold, silver drop. We're going to talk about gold and silver. So we're going to chill out for a little bit. I'm already on a few cups of coffee almost, I feel like. And we're going to talk about these prices and what's going on. We caught a monster short on Solana. That doesn't happen all the time, right? I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like that happens all the time, but it does take a lot of patience. And, seeing the market kind of continue almost roll over, it's kind of easier these days to feel, hey, it's just going to be a little bit of a downtrend for some time, right? So we'll start off right here with BTC, and we're going to start off super zoomed out for a second just to show you guys something pretty interesting that we talked about a long time ago. What's up, Clash? Clash is right up here, man. It's already up there because it's just a good example of a good community holding strong, and so we're definitely going to talk about that as well. So definitely get comfortable, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's so many things that are dipping, so many things that are ripping. This could be the perfect time to find some of your favorite plays, or maybe, the market's got you too shooken up. Maybe it's just, hey, forget that. I'm just sitting on my hands, or, I'm touching grass. I'm with the family, whatever it might be, right? But check this out right here. I do want to talk about this right here because we did talk about this a long time ago with BTC. This is our prior all-time high. And this is when we touched it back over here in April, when February started to pull back, and all the way down to April, we came down to these same levels. And I used to mention this over here, like, hey, I would almost still stay bullish because the 200 moving average, I know it's hard for people to stay bullish right now because it's like, what? Rico, I could almost slap you in the face if you stay bullish. But it's true. It's like we actually been here before. And I remember telling you guys, and you guys can go back and check the receipts, that if we broke underneath this is where I would become more bearish. And if you go on the weekly chart, that's when we start to break underneath, that 200 moving average. And, let's just call it what it is. But right now, if you want to hold on to like some sliver of some, like, to stay optimistic in the market, is like, we have been here before. And, a lot of times prior resistance, which this was our all-time high before. And we did talk about these things. I got the chart super cleaned up. I mean, just a 50 moving average on there. We're going to add some indicators in a bit, but this is our all. Hey, what's up, Prophet Bear, man? God bless you, brother. You and your fam. Hopefully you're doing good, man. You're a real one. We're locked in, brother. We're locked in. But check this out. This is our prior all-time high of BTC, where everybody was like, wow, we're a $70-something thousand BTC. This is when we ripped up to, 109, 110, whatever you want to call it. But we did come back down, and we did visit this, during that February pulling back. And it was like 3 months, 4 months of just, oh man, everybody being tested. And we came right down to these $70-something thousand level. And then, eventually, got back above the 50, and, then we went to all-time high. So I'm just saying that even though, yes, it's scary, it's ugly, it's not pretty. I mean, you can look anywhere, there's going to be some crappy news about what's going on. You're going to have people chanting this, and almost everybody's going to sound right now, because I mean, everybody, does it look bearish across the board for everybody? Yeah, I guess, right? It's not going to, I'm sure we're not going to have a hard time, getting a grip on that. I mean, yeah, it looks freaking pretty bearish across the board. So cool, we can accept that. We're adults, right? There's things that we got to take care of, but right here is like an exact area where we've been before. Now, I'm not saying this is the floor by any means. I'm not too sure, right? But this is where, if we wanted to hold on to something on BTC, we did do this before over here, and it could be turning around. And I'm actually in a nice little long on Solana. That's, it's up 60-something%. A lot of things are looking like it could just be some impulsive moving up. And when we start to lower the time frames, you can see what it starts to look like, right? Where these areas are trying to find some kind of bounce back. But this is still, an unbroken, downtrend on the weekly chart when we start to add some indicators. But it is exactly where we kind of warn people. And if we turn on the Blunt House indicator, this is what I think we were trying to tell people for a while. And it's here now. It is what it is, right? And this is why this has always been. Oh, there goes Blunt right there. Look for the 1000 SMA on the daily. We'll check that out for sure. We're gonna have Blunt up as well. I think it's about, we're due up, man. We're definitely due up. I'm sure everybody misses you at this point. This is when they miss us the most, honestly. You know how many DMs I got from that short? But this is what we were kind of trying to warn everybody about. And I think this is why we kind of kept bringing up this weekly chart and this 100 moving average. And this yellow line has been here for a long time, because not because we're doing some guru stuff, but just because if it breaks one level, it finds the next. So I think that everybody who's really rocking with us on the channel, this is not always going to be picture perfect. But maybe it holds on to this 200 moving average. This is where we put our hands together. We're looking up all together. And, this is our last level of like kind of holding on this weekly chart. Otherwise, we can see some lower prices. And we are, and this is why it was easy to kind of see this coming, this prior all-time high and this break underneath this 100, because there was a gap there. We already were trying to hold it for so many times, just trying to hold on. And then the last time that we tried, we didn't break the T line. It's like that. It was a huge fail right there, right? So right here, this is where it was like, oh crap, right? Because you have all this holding on. It's like, all right, nice. Still haven't broke these, switching this thing up right here, this T line and this 5 EMA. And this last attempt right there, I think is where you could say that stuff started to hit the fan, right? Because even with the test all the way up to the 20, it got rejected and it broke the T line, right? The body of the candle didn't close up there. And that's where you just have like the market's pulling back. And then you can watch any news channel and you'll find another reason why, it coincides with that. I don't know if it's the news coinciding with what's going on, or what's going on the chart is coinciding with the news. To me, I have found it to be a lot easier just to follow the chart, because even on this daily chart, like we had one heck of a head start on like all the news that was going to be released. You could look like straight up Nancy Pelosi for a little bit, because right here, the minute the price got rejected on this like 100 moving average, you didn't have to wait for the news. You didn't have to wait for all these types of reports and all this. And I'm not saying that fundamental analysis is not valid by any means necessary, but I am saying that, you could have just used that as confirmation that we're going to go lower instead of like confirmation of this is why you took the trade because, this price being rejected right here on this 100, it was like, oh, and I told everybody once we got underneath this 50, like even if we remove this and we just go straight to the 50 really quick, somebody was like, do you think we'll get back above the 50? I was like, not before we visit this. When we started to get underneath this 50 moving average on the daily and we started to like try to hit it and we couldn't break above it, somebody asked in the chat, they're like, do you think we'll get back above the 50? I was like, most likely we'll visit this right here. And, we had a flush. It flushed lower. Nobody knows it's going to flush a little bit more flushy. I didn't know. But whether I thought that, after these couple of attempts of trying to get back above the 50, we didn't on the daily for some days, just trying nothing. I was like, dude, I wouldn't be shocked if we came back down to 81K. Did I know we were going to flush down to this 70 something? No, I'd be lying if I told you guys that. Did I catch the flush and I got a nice little runner trade? Yeah, on Solana, I did. But it was because a lot of this failing going on and a lot of the stuff that we talk about on this channel took a lot of patience. I think October 10th humbled a lot of us, and you could have used October 10th's scenario on how to be patient to craft and refine your skill, right? And then where you can find these on these higher time frames where you can catch some of these flushes whatever direction it might be going, right? And that's kind of what happened. And we start to see on every time frame where things were looking ugly. I didn't have to convince you guys. Look at the 4 hour, things are looking ugly underneath the 50. Even when it's super clean, it was just like it was there everywhere, kind of just telling us. And that's kind of annoying to say, right? But then it just went a lot lower. This is what I suspected. Did I know it was going to exactly come down here? No, I'd be lying. But when you start seeing all this other stuff that goes together with it, there you go. I mean, but somebody had asked, like, do you think? I was like, man, we're probably going to see these prices over here again, right? And if we broke past these prices, we'd probably go lower. And sure enough, we did. Sure enough, we did. Now, is this the floor? I don't know. I'm in a sketchy long position that's up 60-something% on Solana, which we're going to talk about in a bit. We're going to go to Ethereum next. We're going to kind of take our time, everybody, get settled in. We'll talk about your Clash. We're going to talk about Yi. We're going to talk about Wally. We're even going to talk about gold and silver, and we're just going to chillax, man. We're just going to chillax. I mean, there's no rush. That's what October 10th did and helped me out with. After that, massive liquidation on October 10th and humbling the market. It helped me just be like, you know what? Just you're not going anywhere. Just go to a higher time frame. Chill out. Check this out. You didn't miss anything. You could have waited any confirmation. And I've been paying some nice insurance and I not even jumping in right away and just waiting for some nice things. It's like up here, the sell signal was in. That's on a daily chart. It's not too much fun because it's not jumping in and out, but it sure is right, and it's scary sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It feels like a little bit sometimes because you're not just jumping in, but once it starts flushing, it gets a lot easier to hold. I'll tell you that. Let's go to ETH next. People might be saying like, where does BTC got to get above before we get out of here? I mean, we definitely got to get back into this lower value range. I would not want to see BTC break underneath this 73K because yeah, Blood is saying the 1,000 moving average. Do I got the 1,000 on here? Let me see if I got that really quick for you guys. I might have it on. I might have it ready. Let me see. I think it's this one right here, actually. I'm not sure what. Yeah, we broke underneath that for sure. All right. Yeah, we're trading underneath everything right now. But on these higher time frames, we don't see no buy signals. I mean, at all, right? And these trends are not even. If we broke underneath this 70,000, we broke underneath the 200 moving average on the weekly chart. It's going to be some crying in the market, right? This is where we're extra zoomed out. Are we going to bump into this 200 moving average up here? That'd be nice if we could hold on to that. If we got underneath 73K, I remember somebody pulling up saying 56K. He might be right one day. I'm not sure right now. I want us to hold on to this. I'm sure the rest of the market wants us too, right? Just to trade like this, hold on to the 200 for dear life, and start getting back above some of these other moving averages. But that's going to take some time. It's probably going to take a little bit. That's all right. I mean, are you going anywhere? No, we're not going anywhere. So just zoom out, take your time. Use some of that 4 hours, some of that daily. You're not missing too much waiting all these hours. Like even on this, you're not missing out on too much. Honestly, yeah, it gets a little bit like put on a movie or something. Just chill out and just watch it for a while, and on a higher time frame, you'll find your groove. You'll honestly find your groove. And look at this short up here, and this is 88K. Definitely tested, stayed in the trade. That's what helped me out, was staying in the trade. But daily charts is where we're at right now, fam. Daily charts is where we're at. If BTC broke underneath the 73K, there's some more blood in the streets. If we can get back above this 80 something K BTC back into this volume profile, it'll look a lot better. But there's still some consolidation. I would be very careful with trying to catch the bottom right now. Even myself, like on that Solana trade, I'm very careful. It took like a lot of choppiness that I waited for like almost a day and a half after all this noise, because I know there's a lot of choppiness after a long, like, look at this right here, right? This is what being zoomed out has helped me find out. You see this long downtrend and then all this choppiness right here? I've been avoiding that big time. And almost after every big move, there's a lot of that, whether it's on the top or whether it's on the bottom. There's a lot of that choppiness that almost messes up your confidence, with a lot of buying, sell, buy, sell, and then you miss the big move. It's like, just wait a while. Wait for an actual, break over a moving average. In my case is usually the 50. I'm not chasing every buy and sell signal, but one day after the 50 moving average, I'm down. Same way with this one. This sell signal right here, I could have waited to right here till 88K and not got in at 94,000. And most people were like, well, you left all those profits on the table. Well, you know what? I also just paid some insurance. You're gonna have to pay some insurance somewhere. So nice sell signal plus the break underneath the 50. Daily chart is most likely going to continue. Did you miss out on too much profit? No, you got to catch a runner. Let's go to ETH next. Like I said, just get comfortable, fam. We're going to check out everything. We got a lot. I mean, everything's just freaking, everything's in trouble. Everything's in trouble. But if you're not leaving the market, who really cares? I mean, just chillax. Don't stress out too much. I get offline as much as I can when the market is like this. Yeah, I took the whole weekend off. Why not? You're not going to miss anything. You could literally, this is the perfect time to catch up on whatever Z's you need to catch up on, some whatever had you too locked in. It's like, this is the perfect time. You're not going to miss out on too much because a lot of money has left the market. Where's all that new money going to come from? We talked about ETH going down to 2,500, and this is why I want to tell you guys, this is not financial advice because it went lower than 2,500. It's wild because 2,500 sounded like I was talking out the side of my neck when I was saying it, but now 2,500, people would pray for 2,500 now, right? This is what I was talking about when we first broke underneath this 50 moving average, right over here. Let me get this out the way. Oops, I'll put that right back. And I'm gonna show you guys. This is why it's not financial advice. Nobody's gonna. I'm not perfect, right? We're all learning together. Let's look at it like that. That's why we're gonna take our time and just cruise on by today, because I'm telling you, you're not missing out on too much. So 2,500 sounded absurd, but this is a perfect example of like it broke all these previous ways low and kind of it has some relationship over here with these prices right here. You see this? Boom, boom, that it sunk even lower. And it's like, we didn't see 2,100. But then if you look backwards, then you see it right here. It's like, son of a gun, it was here. And this is how, this is what's nice. I don't like to trade ETH, but I think this is a good example that when we broke underneath this 50 moving average, I was like, I would not be shocked if we came back to this section right here. Let me zoom in just because, like, fam, it actually just, it's happening right before our eyes. We're not going to catch everything. We're not Ash from Pokemon. But look at this. We break underneath the 50, right? It's like, I'm not going to be too shocked if we come back over here. And sure enough, we did. And if we broke that, which I was like, probably we hold 2,500, right? And, I'm bullish on the market. I want it to turn around. But look at how when we broke past these lows right here, how it had no problem just flushing really low to prices that we've been here before. It's not even like where you can say that, like, we didn't see these, like 2,100 should have been on the board. Like, honestly, it's right here staring right in our face now. It's right there. This little wick right here tells us like, hey, we got to look. We might have a gathering. We might have a get together right here. And we sure did. We sure did. And, when you start to add some indicators, some filters, it starts to become a little bit more apparent, right? You get a couple early indications of things going south. Let me get this out the way right here. You got this right here. Your sell signal up here. Maybe you didn't take the sell signal. Maybe, the markets have been so choppy that you're paying a little bit extra insurance. I've been doing that. I'm not ashamed to say it. And you know what? It's been working out pretty good. You guys saw the Solana post. I waited for a little bit before I got into the trade because I didn't want to bump into the 50 and then it turned right back around and get exhausted. So right here, this is your sell signal on the Blunt House indicator. Boom, you could have took this one. Markets could have been hella sketch lately, and there's been a lot of this going on. Buy, sell, buy, sell. So hey, I'm waiting until we break underneath the 50. It's like, look at this. It's like, okay, in this section, you're not even late because at $3,000 ETH, there's still the short that we talked about down to 2,500, and it did exist. And it's the same little game of first mouse, second mouse. Check this little mirror effect going on right here. First mouse, second mouse. That's pretty interesting, right? It's like once you get it one way, you can figure this out on the other side. Like these are just colors. Like and this 50 moving average with this buy signal, like I didn't take none of these buys or sell signals over here, right? But on the Solana trade, I'm gonna show you what it looked like. And I didn't even take the first buy signal. I could have got it that like 900% gain that it was or whatever it was. It could have been sooner, but I actually waited till it got above the 50. And I'm gonna show you guys, like I said, so it's not financial advice because I didn't even jump in right when the buy signal. I even got in a little bit after. Where if I'm using ETH as an example, I probably would have waited to this just because the market's been so shaky. And I was like, get above the 50 for me, and vice versa, vice versa with the sell signal, whatever indicator you're using, you might want to add an extra filter, just like when you're filtering your coffee, maybe it's a stronger, maybe you put 2 filters in there, right? Where I get the sell signal plus the break underneath the 50. Hey, that's might be enough for me to say I'm willing to take the risk of now that I see a sell signal right here, a crash on this 100, the break underneath the 50. We got all these candles closing, daily candles underneath the 50 moving average after the sell signal. Oops, 1 second. Yeah, and most likely it's going to fail. First mouse, second mouse. There you go. Did it go lower than I thought? Yeah. So did the Solana trade. So did the short on the Solana. That's why it flushed, and that's how those trades happen. It's a lot of preparation and a lot of time and place just coming together at the right time. I'm sure somebody was very happy on this short right here that maybe they aimed for, this $2,500 ETH, but when it broke that, it went a lot lower and somebody had a big grin on their face. Let's go to the next one. XRP. Here you go. Perfect example of, let's get this out the way. Because that curl up on the 50 for sure didn't happen. And that sell signal XRP right here, like I said, you could have paid the insurance. Wait till right here. Did you miss out too much? Nope. It's like we're gonna go to BNB next. We weren't really on top of this one. This is another one that we were covering, and it went lower than expected. Let's be transparent, fam. Let's be honest, right? But what we're gonna say is that we did say that we most likely will see these prices again after we broke underneath that 50. Did I know it was gonna do an extra flush? Nah. But this is how you catch those. That's how you catch those surprise extra flushes because it did come to these prices and it did break these prices and then went a lot lower. And now you're seeing BNB at 777 discount prices on BNB. And if we clear this up, this is how we were like, hey, of course, we're probably going to see these prices going, why? Because we've been here before. So if we're breaking it underneath the 50, it's like, yeah, I could see us going over here again because we've been here right here, there, again right there. Yeah, and we lost the momentum. Markets are kind of bearish. Yeah, there's probably going to be a short right here. And if you add the Blunt House, it's been told you to go short. But maybe, like you said, you've been paying some extra insurance because the markets are extra spooky lately. So you're like, I'm going to pay some extra insurance and I'm gonna wait till I get underneath the 50. You're still not wrong. I mean, you're still getting a nice trade. We got this right here. Definitely go check this out. We're gonna check out his actually he's on BNB right now. We'll just go to what you got going on right now, Blunt. I know with these markets active, man, we've been this is when everything comes together right now. This is when everything's coming together right now. Let's see where you're at. This is your other channel. Let's see what's because I know you got Oh, that's just a link to it, right? You haven't made a post on it? See if I see you talking about BNB here. All right. All right, nice. I see you got the Fibonacci sequence there too. Well, you can't help it once you know, right? Yeah. Even if you go to my thing, is the little spirals hidden right here, and I have to have the the Fibonacci sequence has to be hidden. It's good old sacred geometry works everywhere, right? Here we go with BNB. He says BNB sitting on the 500. Okay. BNB sitting on the 500 EMA, lower value range, volume profile, break one level and find the next. I mean, 100%. I mean, 100%. I think we can turn that one on here. It's just one of those. It's one of those days that honestly, if you're, oh yeah, look how beautiful this looks. Ooh, there you go, Blunt. I found it for you. There we go. Ooh, we're talking in alien right now. Here we go. Here goes. There it goes right there. I mean, landed right on it, but it did break that. So, you know, could BNB could be coming down to 684. Like we have to be. Look at how it came right back to this price over here. Sheesh. Like right here. Look at this. Right on there. Is that good enough? Is it going to go lower? We're going to keep track. I mean, it's underneath these moving averages. So pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting. The shorts have been lit. The shorts have been lit. But look how I found that previous price all over again. That is wild. And I guess that's how easy you would have found it. So would have broke these, would have found this level right here. And that's how these shorts printed for everybody. That's exactly how these shorts really printed for everybody. We've seen it coming just because, you know, the sentiment, the euphoria was gone. I mean, you couldn't get anybody to get, you know, there was no first base action, second base, and nothing. Everybody was just, the whole space was turned off, man. You know, and when we broke underneath this 50 moving average, that's why on Solana, it was very easy for me to make a choice on that trade because the space was just not feeling it. And that's how we found some of these lower levels. Speaking of Solana, you know, maybe we get back above these prices. We definitely got to get it back above these moving averages. I would just be careful because after these like intense moves, there's so much chop that you do not want to get caught up in the chop, man. And I've been doing such a great job of avoiding that. Oh my God, that's what I learned after October 10th was like to just these things can go lower, fam. You know, these things can go a lot lower. They can surprise you. How low can you go? Next thing you know, it's like, what? How dare you go that low? How dare you go that low? Who told you can go that low? Here goes this crazy nothing special trade that I did. I mean, absolutely nothing special. And yes, this is Degen activity 15-minute chart, but this is where it existed. And there's a lot of ebb and flow on Solana. You can see even with just a 50, above the 50 long, underneath the 50 short. But this is where this bad boy happened right here. That's where that thing happened. And then it just freaking flushed. And I did get tested. You know, I did get tested. And a lot of this stuff comes from the daily chart that we talked about, you know, that where these prices can go to. And, you know, we suspected that they were going to go visit these prices. Did I know they're going to go that low? No. But yeah, we talked about these previous prices on Solana right here. Just like this. And, you know, if it broke these things that most likely, remember these 70-something Solana sounded crazy? And now we're in this zone right here as well. And this is where that Solana thing kind of existed. When I seen Solana get underneath that 50 moving average, starting to close some of this stuff, you got the same case of first mouse gets to squeeze, second mouse gets to cheese. You start looking at lower time frames, it was all over. You know, everywhere it was saying that it was, you know, on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, and even as risky and why it's not financial advice down to the 15-minute chart where that stuff is going on. Right now, I'm on a risky trade right now. That's why it's not financial advice. And down here. Yep. Yes, sir. Let's turn on the indicator so I can show you guys how I kind of even weighted. And yeah, let's just turn it on for fun. Welcome in, everybody. Just a nice little chill zone. And so I'm using the 50. Like I said, look, I could have got in sooner. Definitely got tested right here. But you guys can see how I've just been waiting on that 50 a little bit more because I'm the chop can exhaust me, and then I lose my confidence. I'm just wearing my heart on my sleeve, man. That I'm just this is how I hold myself accountable, right? And when I'm underneath this 50, and I got the sell signal that took me underneath this 50, I'm on a bearish type of attitude. Even if I see a green signal, because I'm underneath the 50, I just got a bearish attitude, and I keep the bearish attitude, right? Even if I see this buy signal, because the only way I would have said it would have been done if it would have got above the 50, but it didn't. And then the flush happened. And I'm glad, because a lot of times this is where you lose all that excitement, because in and out and in and out, and then all that confidence is gone. You miss out on these massive moves. Here goes another example. All this blah, 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 blah. But again, it's like once it gets underneath this 50 moving average or above it or underneath it, that's where the attitude changes. I held it for quite a while. This is the section of the long that I want to show you guys where even though this thing said buy right here, look at all this buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I didn't take any of these. The one that I took, and we're up, 1 second. I'll post it right now just to show you guys. And I'm not saying that this is the floor. Don't follow this trade whatsoever. It was up 60%. What is it up now? I'll just share it like this. It's 51%. We'll just post it. Post it. Post. All right. Just so we're being transparent. That's like, screw it, right? And just show you guys. It wasn't until I got above the 50, just because I'm skeptical on the market right now, right? It's like, I'm saying, hey, you got to prove some things to me now, right? And it's like, there's all this buy, sell, but it's all happening underneath the 50 moving average. So I'm not interested. But the minute this buy signal and this break above the 50, I paid my insurance right here. I've been paying a little bit more insurance, and maybe I'm wrong for that. But I notice I lose a little bit of confidence if I do a lot of stops, right? If I get stopped out too much, that's just me. Okay. I'm not perfect, everybody. But I found to have a little bit more confidence that, all right, cool. Maybe I'm missing out on getting in on a super good entry. All right, fine. Whoever got that super good entry, I mean, shout out to you, super good entry person. But I need the confidence helps me to stay in the trade. And that's where a lot of times I would have trouble, right? The first mouse, second mouse, this whole little game is like, how do I find the strategy to give me the confidence to say, hey, I'm willing to stay in the trade because XYZ. And what that has produced to me is a period of a time that I'm just ignoring all the noise, that I just don't care. And this is on a 15-minute chart. I'm just showing you guys this hella sketchy trade, and I just posted it right here. Let me refresh this right here. Just to show you guys, I'm just being transparent. It's not nothing magical, nothing. So right here. So you see its average price was 104. Whatever, right? And we're at 105 on Solana right now. So let's go back to Solana. This buy signal was down here in the 90s. And that would have been nice, right? But I don't know why. And maybe I'm wrong for this. I don't know. We'll have Blunt on, and we'll talk about some of this stuff and some of his wisdom and some of the strategy behind it. But I found that, when I have a little bit more confidence and I ignored quite a bit, it's almost like I just trust myself. And when I get above this 50 right here, it's cruising right there. After that buy signal closes, I'm okay with holding it for a lot longer. And that's where this trade, it's already been up like 60 something percent. You gotta think like it's been doing this for a while. All this has just been chop. It hasn't been able to really stay above that 50 or do anything really magical, until right now it's kind of changing his attitude. And now I'm doing multi-time frame analysis. Now I'm starting to stack them up. Is it going to be a runner? Is there going to be an impulse where maybe there's 100 and something percent gain on this trade? I don't know. But I do know if this thing comes and we get a sell signal, I'll even probably stay in the trade. Because a lot of times they'll bounce off that 50 moving average. And then that's where like it makes a large move. And you're like, man, I was actually in that trade. But I like that 50 a lot. And, if it got underneath it, then like cutthroat, I would just change my attitude. But so long as this trade and this trend is staying good and we're in this, even if I saw a sell signal, because I see them sometimes, and sometimes they get me out the trade and I'm all bummed out because I was like, damn, I was actually in that freaking trade. And then next, if it turns on green over here, let me show you guys. And it's like, okay, maybe we're producing a little bit of a runner right here. Look, again, see the buy signal down here? But there's a lot of them that play with my feelings. You see this choppiness right here? And this is the 50 right here. Let me show you guys the 50. I'm just showing you from last night to tonight what's going on. You see all this choppiness? I don't want to entertain this stuff. This stuff messes with my confidence, right? All this stuff, all this stuff against the 50 moving average. I don't care. I'm starting to care now. It's like, oh, wait a minute. You haven't done that in a while, you know? So that's what I start to get. That's when I started to look, okay. And maybe, now that you have the indicator on, you're like, okay, I'm stacking up some filters. I'm stacking up some, enough of these things could mean that it's a winner now, right? Because now, and I waited, yeah, and I could have got in a lot sooner. Maybe I'm wrong for that. But I noticed that now when I see red candles and I'm above this, they don't freak me out as much. And I'm okay because I know this just has been prolonged downtrend. We're already in a buy signal trend. It's staying green. I waited actually to the 50 moving average being broken. And now you're starting to see on the 15 is doing it, on the 30 minutes doing it. Now we go to the 45 minute. Okay, well, check this out. Hasn't done this in a while over here either. And you're starting to see where all these buy signals, and now this thing's, above the 50 moving average. So I don't know, is this going to be where it runs or, maybe not. But this is where now I would start to look, and there was all that consolidation, all that choppiness, and you're seeing all these new buy signals on Solana. And actually, the first times that is breaking above this, I don't care about these. Why? Because it's not above the 50. I don't care about this buy signal and running into the 50. I just, because it messes with my confidence. It just messes it up because then you're trying to chase it and stuff. And if it's underneath the 50, I just stay a little bit more bearish. When it's above the 50, I get a little bit more optimistic. I'm like, all right, cool. We're on that side of the stuff, and here you're going to see where on the 2 hour is where we haven't done any of that stuff just yet. And maybe we turn this thing into a nice little runner and it's a cool post to post on X, or maybe not. Maybe it's just a simple trade on these lower time frames and there's more continuation to the downside. And that's okay. That's completely okay. So long as the trend is staying bullish and we're staying above the 50 moving average, I'm going to rock with it. And the minute that changes, so do I, right? And I just wanted to show you guys an actual trade. And after all this downtrend and all this stuff, this is not catching the falling knife. I don't want nobody trying to buy the dip or anything. This is just something that, hey, seen a lot of sideways chop, 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 and now a different change in the way the trend is looking for the type of trades that I like to do, right? And they're a lot riskier, right? So, but right now we're gonna see if it runs. We're seeing it stack up on the 30, stacking up on the 45, stacking it up on the 1 hour. So, all this fractal time, all these things are starting to line up where that's how that short turned into a massive short. Have you guys seen that short that happened? At the end of it, it was a 900%. They're not always going to be that. It started off like just a normal little trade, doing 60, 70%. If you scroll down, it's somewhere around here. I don't know. It started just like a normal, 60% trade. And next, it's freaking 300. Next, it's 500. Next, it's more. And maybe that happens again, but maybe not. They're not always going to be those types of trades. So we're seeing right now, is that going to be one of those that is 51% now? And we found the bottom on Solana. You guys let me know. And is this enough to turn the market around, where we see more excitement and we have a cool post for later on, or maybe it was just a trade, and you have to be okay with that. You can't be too married to what direction. The minute it changes its characteristics, that's it. It's changed, right? It's no longer that type of scenario. And if you bet your butt, if I see this, these candles break underneath the 50, and with some, it's going to have a sell signal before, but also break underneath the 50, and it's starting to stack them up on all the time frames, and my attitude is going to change. All right, so you got to be a little bit malleable. That's why it's not good to be rigid, because we got some CFX trading on. I know we're not having been going. Let's go to gold. We'll go to the higher time frames, because boy, did gold just, man, we're gonna have blunt on for sure. But look at gold, even with this pullback, it didn't put a sell signal on. Still holding above the 50. We turned this off first. It's even with this nasty pullback, no sell signal, and it's still holding above the 50. So it's like, do you stay bullish on it? You see the buyers pushing it back up. Do you think gold's going to turn right back around? Because I don't know where all this money went. Everything's pulled back. The whole market's pulled back. BTC pulled back, 70-something thousand dollar BTC. Gold's pulled back. Silver's pulled back. Where are they putting this money? Where are they injecting this money? Or is everybody counting the money right now? So gold definitely pulled back on the daily chart. And I'm sure once we get to the 4 hour chart, it's going to be super visible. And bam, there you go. Trade underneath the 50. Not that hard, right? You could. I know we're gonna have a sell signal really early. Gold will keep going up for sure. Yeah, I think you're right. It's been doing that for a while, but not without this correction and stuff. And if people are wondering, like, where did this correction start? We had some indicators that showed us. If we turn on the blunt house, I'm sure it triggered sooner, but like way up here, it said, whoo, it was like sell signal, 4-hour chart, $5,600 overbought. Even down. Let's say we used a wick of it. $5,200. But if you want to pay some insurance, lately I've been paying a lot of insurance, and you break underneath the 50, you're still not wrong. Because I don't want it to be one of these cases where it's a sell signal and then right back into a buy signal, sell signal, reckon. So it's like, I'm waiting till right here. I've been waiting lately, and you know what? It's been good. It's been a lot calmer. But you know what? They can still turn into 900% gains, even with paying that little bit of extra insurance to wait. And somebody did right here, and they weren't wrong. Here you got gold coming. Damn, even that 500 EMA is like, it came right down to it. Wow. I know Blunt's happy about that because it came right down to that 500 EMA. That's wild. Where does it correct? It's definitely got some work to do, fam. It's not just I don't think it's just gonna snap right back. I don't know. You guys think it could snap right back? We got some gold experts in here. Once I see this break underneath the 50, it's like, hey, everything's gonna be doing that for a little bit. You see, right, 3-hour break underneath the 50. It's like everything has to turn right back around. Everything's fanned out. Everything's so fanned out. It's like, this is where they catch a lot of people, because it gets choppy for a long time and you get stopped out left and right. So I know after these massive moves, I'm not going to party for a little bit. You see this? Like, I can even just turn this off for a second. Even the 1-hour chart, you would have looked like, look at this. You could have traded this. Trade underneath the 50, straight down. I bet anybody, there's going to be a ton of sideways trading right here, consolidation, choppiness, where a lot of people get stopped out as gold tries to do some kind of like get back above that 50 moving average type scenario. Like, this is where a lot of trouble happens. That chop zone is dangerous. And it usually happens because it's usually either people trying to call the top or trying to call the bottom. Like, so we might be closing that trade soon. It's down 26%. It's almost going to get close to that 50 moving average. We'll see what's up. We're keeping an eye on it. We're staying strong in it. Gold will bounce back. This is why I want you guys to be careful. After these strong moves down, there's a lot of freaking choppiness. There's a lot of testing. And if you just wait it out and you go touch some grass or whatever you got to go do, you'll find yourself in a lot better position, because this is where trouble happens. And this is where myself, at least speaking for myself, what happens is the confidence gets taken out, where I get bummed out because I get caught up in that chop for so long, and you get stopped out so many times where you're like, you just do middle fingers to the, it's like, so, you know what, forget it. Right. So I would be extremely cautious down here, especially the lower time frames. It's going to be a lot more, choppiness, but you're not going to miss out on anything just waiting for a while on the hour chart. Look how far away you are from that 50 moving average. Like, you wouldn't be wrong just to wait a while. Hey, I'm just going to wait a while and see if it chops sideways for quite a bit, which you most likely will until it crashes. And this lower value range is what it's got to get back above 4,800, really getting closer to that 5K would probably get everybody back, like, oh, gold's going back up. But I'm sure at some point it's going to happen. But I think right now the markets are so choppy, it'd probably be better just to chill out for a little bit. Just to chill it out. And we turn on some indicators. It's like you're underneath everything. Talk about having some work to do. You got all these moving average. You're going to have to do this all over again. Roll them all over. And that's going to take a little bit of time. It is. This is gold right here. It's going to take a little bit of time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you've already experienced it before. It's going to have to get back above these things. We're going to go to silver as well. I just think that there's going to be quite a bit of consolidation and a lot of people getting caught up in a lot of chop right now. Have your stops really close, your stop losses, your take profits, like, have everything set up really nice. So like that, you don't get caught by surprise right now because, here goes buy, sell. And I think there's just going to be a lot of choppiness and just use some higher time frames. Like you're not going to miss out on that much. And here you go, buy, sell. That's being slapped around. You don't want to get slapped around right now. Just let it chop for a hot minute. And then when you get a buy signal and it's trading above the 50, I mean, I'm gone. I'm going. But I'm not gonna fine. If you got in before me, shout out to you, big dog, But I don't want to be in this buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. When it says buy and then we're above the 50, I'm in. And that little insurance has been working out pretty nice. Yeah, I could have got in earlier. Yeah, I could have made more, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm not here for that. And that's why you got to come up with your own strategy because, this is not financial advice. And, maybe somebody's better at catching that just right down there. I'm not. I'd rather kind of just wait for something that I've already been accustomed to for a while is that, the sell with the 50 is like, it's a lot easier to take that trade. Let's go to silver next. I think there's going to be some consolidation on all these. If gold can get back above the 500 EMA, which I'm sure you guys are not paying attention to most of it, but let's just call it above 4,800, back above like almost 5K. That might get enough people to be really excited, but you're still going to be running into a lot of moving averages. You might have a case of whack-a-mole going on. I don't know if it's just going to keep moving that fast on these lower time frames. On the weekly chart on gold, I mean, still intact, still bullish. If you got in down here, you're still good. Is it going to correct at some point? I'm sure it is. Nothing just goes up forever. Is it going to turn back around eventually? Most likely. It's here to stay. Gold has a good reputation of being here for a long time. So, but everything corrects, man. Everything corrects. Everything's subject to that. And on the weekly chart, if you're looking at gold super zoomed out, I mean, it's the first red candle on the weekly chart. It's all these lower time frames that are looking like consolidation, chopness, and all that stuff. But this weekly chart trend is still intact. I'm not trading gold right now. I'm trading Solana, having a good time. I'll let the gold traders trade gold. But I'm sure it'll have some kind of correction at some point. And maybe these are the first signs of us watching the correction on these higher time frames. If gold got underneath the 50 on the daily chart, I'm sure we would see a correction down to 4,000 maybe. It's right here. But still no sell signal. No sell signal on the daily chart. So some people are going to say, zoom out, still bullish on gold. No sell signal here. No sell signal on the weekly. So still looking relatively pretty good. If you ask anybody rocking with gold, and then we're going to go to silver next and see everybody who's rocking with silver. I mean, nice little correction. If you caught these trades, I mean, you're not mad. Look at this. And they're clean. Look at that. Just break underneath the 50 anytime. And it's like, it'll flush. It doesn't even take that much. The filters help you get that confidence. That's what the filters do. At least that's what I use them for. To help me stay like stoic, Like, all right, cool. It's not broken. Look at silver right here. Sell signal up here. You could have paid some extra insurance and say, screw it, man. I'm tired of the chop. I'm tired of being stopped out. It messes with my self-esteem. I'm gonna wait till we get okay, cool. We're in that direction, but prove it a little bit more and get underneath the 50 moving average as well. And then I'll ride with you. And sure enough, I mean, anybody who would have did that, you would have been right. Because you got your sell signal way up here, but maybe you guys stopped out a couple of times where you're getting tired of that. And by this time, now you don't even trust it. Maybe you're not going to even take the short because you've been stopped out so many other times because you keep trying to do it above the 50. It's like, screw it. I don't trust it. But sell signal plus underneath the 50 moving average. Let's zoom in. Sell signal plus breaking underneath this 50 moving average. It's like, that's it. Forget these. I'm not even interested. I'll take the buys off of the 50. I'm not taking the sells above the 50 no more. I don't want to. Somebody else can have them. It's too choppy for me. And I know that I notice if I'm just patient and I wait for at least a couple confirmations that I like, and that helps me build the confidence where I could just stand there and just, let it do what it has to do. It's a lot easier for me to stay in some of these trades. And I'm sure it is for a lot of you guys as well. So sell signal was up here. Let's call it by the wick just for fun. 108. You could have waited to this right here all the way till $95. Or any of this break above this break under this 50 moving average, and you would have still been right. This is all in this $100 silver zone, right? But sell signal plus breaking to 50, it's like maybe there's a short there. Maybe I place a small short, and look, you have a nice little flush. So we've looked at Bitcoin, we looked at ETH, we looked at big BNB, Solana, and everything. When it breaks that 50, it reacts, whether it's to the north side or whether it's to the south side of how it reacts towards this 50 moving average. There's some reaction there, and that's just what we're looking at. And maybe this is the insurance that you pay. Maybe you're like, screw it, I don't need to pay no insurance. I got this. I'm taking this trade right here. Cool, take it. I'm going to pay a little bit of insurance just so I can relax, chillax, and it doesn't bother me as much, and still catch a beautiful move to the downside just like this. Whoever would have waited, you still caught a nice trade. So your sell signal plus the 50 still moving. Now, if we zoom out to the daily chart, just like gold, actually silver has a sell signal on the daily chart. So there you go for that one. Weekly chart on silver, no sell signal yet on silver on the weekly chart, but definitely one on the daily chart. But again, daily chart still above the 50. But boy, I would not want to get caught it flushing down here to 50 something dollars. And this is the correction that is about to happen. Maybe the whole market's about to correct. That could be happening right now. And just, man, the 4 hour has been super solid lately. It's a little bit boring. Takes a few days. Maybe even it could take you up to a week to set it up. But once it's set up, it's set up. Then it's set it and forget it. It takes a little bit to have this, all these 4 hours stack up and just wait for that break underneath the 50. Clear sell signal. I guess the question would be, do you guys think that we're going to go down here on silver? $51 again? Could it correct that hard? $51? Could people take that much, off the table and just let it correct? We got a sell signal on the daily chart. But because the way that I've been doing things lately, I would have to see a break underneath this 50. If there was a sell signal and a ugly little candle, right here, it's like, all right, that's it. We're probably going to see a little bit lower. Yeah, maybe you don't want to wait to that price, but you're not missing out that difference. So right here, you're at $79. I waited to $74. I waited to $73. Oh, well, maybe you took this daily sell signal right here. But I want to see the break underneath the 50 as well. Some kind of candle break the body of the candle, not just a wick. And maybe you got in a little bit sooner than I did. That's fine. You get more profit, but this little bit of insurance has been working out nice. And like I said, it's kind of that psychological part of just being confident, having some confidence in the trade to stay in it. So that's silver, fam. We got some sell signals. We're going to be, all this week, we took the weekend off, which was really nice. All this week, we're going to keep all the prices up to date and letting you guys know. I think there's going to be a lot going on throughout this whole week and how prices are going to be reacting to this. And we'll see day by day. Is the next daily candle tomorrow going to be a candle that, closes underneath that 50? We're going to see. Let's go to some fun plays. I appreciate you guys all pulling up, man. You guys are some real ones. A lot of consolidation, a lot of sketchiness in the market. We're going to see how it all transpired throughout this whole week. And we gave you guys some targets, some, just really some choppiness until this, then that kind of happens. But for the most part, I think we got some consolidation for quite a bit, fam. I don't think there's going to be too many exciting things going on. Just for a hot minute, just going to be some choppiness just to kind of get everybody. So just be careful. Let's go over here to Clash. Shout out to the Clash fam. Pull it up, and a project that's holding them really strong. We're going to go to our meme coins, our utility plays, talk about the rest of the market. We got Wally, we got Yi, some of our favorite plays, of course, XPX, the Smart DeFi fam. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. The whole market is it's feeling some stuff, and that's okay, right? We're here for long term. If you're here for the long term, it doesn't matter. You can take your weekend off, enjoy your weekend, and still get some things done, and then just come back right to it, because this is what we're here for the long term, fam. And I think the Clash fam is solidifying itself when these market conditions are going up and down like that. That Clash is here to stay, and it's holding really strong at 52%. Probably one of the best ones on Solana as far as like how strong it's holding with the market fluctuation, and that's a big shout out to this community. Of course, they've been pulling up, going crazy everywhere. That's a big shout out to George delivering. And also, Solana is a strong platform. Solana's blockchain, when it comes to exposure, it is extremely strong. So right here, we got Clash Picks is the latest and greatest, of course. I'm going to share this with you guys. Making sure you guys are staying up to date with Clash Picks. This is probably the most important time for Clash Picks. You guys really want to talk about it, because even Vitalik is doing some predictive market. Even Vitalik is using, like, founder Vitalik made 70K betting against the markets. Like, this is, everybody's using these poly markets. Like, this is the Ethereum founder Vitalik. Even as rich as he is, he's still playing around with these markets. And George is over here building this Clash Picks, which is like these poly markets, and that's exactly what we got going on. It's like there's going to be a market for this. So we got Winter Olympics. Who finishes on top with the most gold medals? Make your call, lock in your pick, and let the results decide. Time's ticking. What's your pick? P-Clash, free to claim. You got 4 days, man. You guys can come over here. I'm actually going to post this right here, because I think this is going to start to become more and more popular. You got people like Vitalik talking about it. You got this kind of being about the space. Is that not what we're here for? This is part of the trend. Not only is the trend essentially the chart, but it's also as far as development. All right, we got it's open for everyone. Drop your pick, check back later. So think George plays Clash, can flip PopCat World. Okay. Ooh, do you guys think Clash can flip that? I like this one. This is how you kick up some dust right here. Do you think George will flip, or Clash, George plays Clash, flip PopCat? That's some interesting stuff right there, everybody. That is some interesting stuff right there. Kicking up dust is a must. Ooh, Mood Dang as well. Oh my God. Fed policy sets the tone for markets months in advance. March 2026, FOMC will matter a lot. What do you think the Fed does? Make your predictions on Clash Picks. I'm going to share all of these. These are the 43 days away. And this is us getting, I'm not saying you have to participate. You don't have to do any of this stuff. What I am saying is that we're gaining exposure to what is this new trend of this poly market stuff. And we're making sure that we're not being left behind. Yeah. I haven't done a Clash pick. I haven't done a poly market thing, but I think we will. I don't see why we wouldn't. So I don't see why, this is not something that we're going to see moving forward. Oh, this looks nice, man. Shout out to you guys. It's nice. Clash picks. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's getting out there. Let's go. Oh, that's bullish, fam. Who's been watching Burnt Peanut? Let me know in the chat. That stuff is so catchy. Oh, my God. So shout out to Clash. Shout out to George. Shout out to this community holding right over $50 million market cap. That's what the market's testing everybody. That's what Solana being cheaper than when George started this thing. Right now, you can buy Solana for the low, and you can re-up on Clash if you wanted to. Obviously, it's not financial advice. You guys can just wait. You guys can just keep waiting. But I think this is one of the easiest plays to get people involved into Solana, or get them involved into crypto and not have to worry about it. Can it go lower? Yeah, of course. The markets are crazy. Solana can crash. The markets can crash lower. It can create more panic selling, and people can, eventually sell. But, as far as something that you can count on turning around and having the right amount of like marketing and the right people behind it, this is what it looks like, man. I think everybody should should take a look at this. If you guys are listening to this channel, if you guys are thinking about joining cryptocurrency, if you guys are, man, this brings back so many memories. That's awesome. That's awesome right there. Who remembers the Nintendo 64 control? Come on now. That's cool. GoldenEye at that? Come on. Whoa. You want to talk about nostalgic. So we're bullish on Clash. We're going to continue to stay bullish on Clash. I think this is for sure, easily hundreds of $1 million market cap, maybe even $1 billion if somehow the markets just surprise everybody and turn back around. But even in these market conditions, I could see this thing at least touching the hundreds of million and just being that shining star where maybe a lot of people do flock to this. Maybe it does flip Mudang. Maybe it does flip, Popcat, and a lot of people flock to this just because George is providing utility. George has an amazing community, and I think it's going to continue to grow. So sitting right now at a discount price of $52 million market cap, utility, meme aspect, and I think the whole game aspect is something that people don't pay attention to. I think that this could eventually get this thing a lot bigger as people look up Clash and they bump into cryptocurrency and they bump into this play. It's something that's not on the table for most people. So maybe you're going to wait a little bit. Maybe you can hold on. Maybe you're like, okay, maybe it's going to come down to $15 million market cap again and I'll buy more Clash. I'm not sure if it is. Who knows? It's up to you to make that decision on where you want to get in and where you fit in, right? So shout out to the Clash fam. You guys should be going crazy because even with the market conditions, healthy looking chart, and you guys had your pullback. Everything has their pullback. BTC is having their pullback. So like we need to get over the fact that pullbacks don't happen and corrections don't happen because they're part of the space, and Bitcoin has proven that, and you can always bounce back. And I think Clash has proven that as well, and holding really strong at $51 million market cap. Anything above this is just really looking fantastic. If it got down here, I'm sure a lot of people would just load up again. All right, the markets are just fluctuating like crazy. Let's go to some more plays, man. Let's have some fun with you guys. Let's go to Smart DeFi. Let's go to XPX right now. Shout out to all of you guys, man. You guys are extremely bullish. We got some massive developments around the corner. We got some projects tapping in with us. We got some big things around the corner for XPX because this is not just a token. It's actually a company as well. So we got some big things around the corner for XPX. You guys know that we're constantly live. We're here to provide off-ramp solutions, not just for individuals, but for also businesses. And we have been growing our contact list really, really strong. You guys are going to be seeing some more developments coming soon around XPX, some more widgets around XPX. But for those who don't know what XPX is all about, I'm going to jump right into it right now. We launched on Smart DeFi. Yes, smartdefi.com, allowing people to make passive income, allowing people to make, some staking rewards, use a lending protocol. But as far as utility, this is where, things really get, really, really important for the space. We've been providing off-ramp solutions, fam, for over 19 months, going on 20 months. We just don't stop, fam, and we're not going to stop. We got the next iterations of some more widgets coming. We got some more utility around the corner. We got some big boy things to do as far as XPX, and I want you guys to stay tuned. If you guys want to learn more about XPX, come over here to xpxpay.com. Like I said, this is the project I launched on Smart DeFi about almost 20 months ago already, fam. Time just keeps flying, and we got some more utility around the corner. We got some projects that are going to be using our utility. I've been in the DMs with them, and this is pretty cool because then we're going to be seeing a lot of things powered by XPX. And this is where I think, seeing plays like George or Clash, while the markets are down or while the markets are testing everybody, that we're building and that we're focusing on expansion. What's up, Fire Chicken? And we're focusing on growing our networks and giving our utility also to other projects for them to use. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing, man. We got another widget that's around the corner to be released. And this is a widget that a lot of projects are going to be able to use. So Magic projects being able to have some of this stuff if they're interested in using this for what they got going on. And I'm not going to give away too much because we're getting close to that. I'm actually in talks with a few projects that are getting ready to just, one, going to make the announcement, two, going to be using it, and we're constantly working on some features on it behind the scenes, but extremely, extremely bullish because we just continue to deliver. If you're looking for a project that keeps delivering, off-ramp solutions to not only individuals, but moving forward projects and other companies in the space, whether the markets are up, whether the markets are down, I would definitely take a look at XPX. exppxpay.com. Do not miss out. If you guys want to stay up to date with all things off-ramp solutions and everything that we're doing. I mean, we're doing a lot of spaces. We're cross-pollinating on the super streams that we have going on. We were just at the Raid Shark space. Shout out to those projects. We're on Cappy today. You guys can come check us out over here. We're actually trending over here. Top rising communities, number 8 XPX, getting a lot of attention up there. So we're listed on quite a few places. We're making noise everywhere. But I think the most important part, fam, is that we continue to stay focused on development when the markets are like this. And this is exactly what we're going to continue to do as a project. This is how you continue to push forward. This is how you not only stay here 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but going on 20 months. We're going to be going on 2 years soon, everybody, that we're just building into space. And I think that's really impressive and really says a lot about this amazing community. So I don't want you guys to miss out. The whole market is on a discount. If you guys find some value in a project that's obviously providing off-ramp solutions to not just you or the individual, but actually the whole space, and some projects that will be using our tool coming very, very soon. And like I said, even a widget that we're going to be, not right here, even a widget that we're going to be adding as well, because we want to use it as well, because obviously it's a powerful tool. This is a project for you guys, right? We're always going to keep delivering. We're always going to keep developing. And this is a perfect time to hit more development and really hand over some more tools to projects in the space. And it's really huge for what we're doing it for. All right. So shout out to everybody pulling up. I'm going to post this link right here. If you guys want 100K MasterCard, 10K non-KYC MasterCard, $500 Visa card, come over here to expxpay.com. Use the utilities, fam. We've had quite a bit of our usage going up. So shout out to the XPX community, because I know it's thanks to you guys getting the word out there. But right now we have the Obsidian Onyx MasterCard. Yes, it goes from $10 all the way up to $10,000. And we also have the Visa card from $50 up to $500 Visa card. And these are both compatible for Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay. These are massive, massive utilities for you guys to use. This is non-KYC, over 170 countries, extremely, extremely bullish. Come over here and get you guys some of that, or don't. We got some non-KYC bill payments. We might as well show this. Over 80,000 companies, not 80 companies. That would just be bullish. Oh, we got 80 companies that accept cryptocurrency. No, over 80,000 companies, allowing you guys to pay your water bill, your electric bill, but also businesses and companies and projects to pay their bills, as we're doing already, fam. And some people paying off their loans using crypto through here, which is pretty cool, because we have some credit unions on here that people are using. We got the non-KYC gift cards. If you guys want to, get some Uber Eats, get a cruise, send somebody some money, whatever it might be, send them a gift. Use some non-KYC gift cards right here, man. You guys can tap in right here. Pretty bullish, fam. Continuously delivering, and going to keep delivering into space. Like I said, further developments right around the corner. So you guys stay tuned for that. More widgets being released. I don't care what the markets are doing. We're just going to keep pushing forward and keep delivering and keep building, fam. That's what we're here to do. So looking forward to the next announcements and looking forward to the next tools that are about to get released, man. More utility, not empty promises that people keep promising into space. Whatever the markets are doing, we're just going to keep delivering, fam. So if you guys want some of that, pull up over here and give us a follow. We have some spaces pulling up, and yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. Very easy to sign up, very easy to use, and don't miss out, man. Don't miss out. Let's go to the next project. We got Wally that we're going to talk about. A little project surviving these rough seas. Little Wally token really surviving and making its move. I got to send those giveaway tokens out. Don't worry, fam. They're there in the wallet. You guys are not missing out on anything. We got like 4 winners. They're right there in the wallet. Send you guys all some Wally. It's all sitting there. We've been doing some big boy pants stuff that we got to take care of course, some bigger stuff, but we got your giveaway sitting right there, and we're going to give away. Wally's been holding strong, man. This community is still right there. We're going to be giving those giveaways away for sure. It's your guys. This belongs to you guys. Wally's holding really strong. This is a cute little whale on Solana doing his thing. Whole market's being tested. If the markets can turn back, hot, and things can get back exciting, it wouldn't take too much to get a project with a good community, a solid community, a great narrative that's engaging nonstop, and with a solid dev behind it to get roaring all over again. So just you're not the only thing taking a dip. You're not the only project with a sell on the chart. BTC has some of the most sells on the chart, so just keep pushing, fam. Keep grinding. You know, if you love Wally before and you're still here rocking in that TG, don't worry. Give it time. Just keep grinding for your bag and it'll turn around, fam. Wally looking really strong. Looks like it's found the floor right here. Had a nice little uptick to about 167K market cap, but then the markets took a hit. And when the markets take a hit, everybody takes a hit. And it's just part of the space, fam. It is just part of the space. So Wally right here, if it can get back above 100K, but breaking back above these market caps right here, it would be super bullish all over. But if you guys go join the Telegram, it's much more than that. You know, the whole market is being tested right now. If you guys go join the Telegram, you will see that they are extremely active and they want to go a lot further with this one. So we are going to keep an eye on Wally. Yes, we're keeping an eye on Wally, fam. And we're going to give you guys, after the stream, we'll do those giveaways. It's like 4 people who won. It's sitting there in the wallet. You guys did not miss out. You guys can hold the Wally, you know, work for that Wally back because it wouldn't take too much to get this thing going again. And we'll have Wally back up on some super streams, especially if they get that bag pumping and get everybody back excited. Let's go to another one I want to be transparent on and why this is not financial advice. We talked about how this one could dip and probably consolidate here. But this is what I want to show you guys why it's not financial advice, because it dipped lower than what we thought, right? Because the market's kind of flushed on everybody. So not only did the market come down to this section right here where we thought maybe it can consolidate and then turn back around because it's a great narrative and blah, 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 and all that great stuff, it went a lot lower. And this is why you got to trade your chart and pay attention to what you got going on, right? Because, you know, we could have had a nice entry right here, or now look at this thing. It went a lot lower. And everything has gone a lot lower. Everything has corrected. Some of the plays that pumped up to $31 million market cap, this one came all the way down to $4 or $5 million market cap. So a lot of things are correcting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just know that just got to keep pushing. And this one right here, this could be the floor right here. Maybe you wait till $5 million market cap. But if it got back above 10, we know things get exciting. But I think the markets are going to be a little bit more shaky for a little bit longer. I think they're going to consolidate for a little bit longer. And we're going to keep an eye on that, right? That's why we're going to pull up, make sure you guys pull up all week to kind of see how the market starts to react for the rest of this week and how things really turn out. Because, you know, we're kind of entering that chop zone where maybe it starts to create a floor, or maybe we go a little bit lower. Maybe we go a little bit lower. If the prices go a little bit lower, then other things go a little bit lower. That doesn't mean that we're leaving the market. It doesn't mean that whatsoever. So even Yi, and I wanted to show this one. That's why I brought it up. We thought it had the bounce on the 10, but it didn't. So we'll get that out of here and just show you that sometimes the markets are, you know, they could be, what's the phrase? They could stay, you know, longer than you can stay solvent. I mean, longer is like, you know, they could stay irrational longer than you can stay sane. That's for sure. You know, they'll shake you all around. And here goes a $5 million market cap shakeout on Yi. You know, if everybody's going to fade this, I don't know. But, you know, ETH pulling back tremendously, ETH testing everybody. Of course, some of that has an effect on why you're seeing this chart just go slanted straight down, just like a lot of other things, right? So shout out to all the community standing strong. Man, we're not leaving, fam. We're not deleting the apps. So unless you're deleting the apps, you know, find your favorite play, have some fun, and keep working for your bag. That's all it is. That's what I'm going to do, right? You know, find your potential shorts when you can, find your potential longs, find where you can get into fit in. But other than that, you know, we're just kind of rocking the market little by little. Let me see. Oh, look at Andy paying attention to lead or to Yi too. Look at that. What? Yi token is watching. Yi token is watching. I know they're watching. I know they're watching. They know what's up. I'm bullish on this one. This might be where, you know, if you're bullish on it, you start to get a bag on it. The markets are just testing everybody. You just don't want to wait for Solana to be all the way back roaring, and then, well, that's silver, but or ETH to get back roaring all the way, and then you miss out on all this stuff. Watching Solana on the other screen, a nice little dip again. It's breaking some stuff. It might be the pullback of the pullback. Let's go to BTC and see what's going on. BTC pulling back even a little bit more. So nice. So a little bit more pullback on ETH, BTC, a little bit more pullback on the market, maybe some more consolidation. We'll keep an eye on it. Do keep pulling up, fam. We got some things to take care of. That's why we did an early stream today. Make sure you guys don't miss out. Stay tapped in. Tomorrow we'll pull up around the same time. Make sure you guys have some fun in the market. go touch some grass. It's going to be a little bit boring and choppy, maybe some more pullback, some resistance, maybe some short opportunities, maybe some long opportunities. But that's why we're going to keep pulling up together and keep our eyes on the market right now, because this is a crucial moment for us with BTC at 78K, ETH at 23, BNB 773. Everything's on a crazy discount. Solana 104. We're just going to have to see. We're going to see if this is the floor or is there some more pain in the future. And we'll keep eye on these things. All right, everybody. So we got some things to take care of this AM, some meetings to take care of. So you guys have a fantastic day. Much appreciate everybody who pulled up for the early stream, and have a fantastic rest of the day. And let's enjoy the rest of this weekend. We're not going anywhere, fam. We're just going to keep pushing forward. See you guys later.
Misunderstood.